right, it is Thursday. It's getting closer to the weekend. So, essentially, I've been feeling super unmotivated in so many ways, and I'm trying to nail it down. I'm trying to figure out what's going on, and it's happened for a really long time. I just can't seem to. I do different things. Like yesterday, I ended up doing 85 push-ups in the morning, and after work, I hit the heavy bag for 45 minutes. And you'd think, and I'm always doing things. I create songs. I take pictures. I take lunch walks. I do all these different things, right? And you'd think, well, you're doing quite a bit. You shouldn't be bored. I've got a great family. We go out and do things, but the end of the day, I just feel like I think I'm honestly just not stimulated. Like I think about, I dream of adventures. Getting backpacking gear and going on a long hike for days, or walking across the country, or challenges that pique my interest in some way, shape, or form. And I dream of those types of things, walking the Appalachian Trail, or running a marathon, or competing in something or another. And at the end of the day, I feel like I just don't have anything going on that's exciting to me. I'm not saying that my life is bad or anything. My life is amazing. I have an amazing family. I've got a great job. But I think, we as people right now, we go from dopamine hit to dopamine hit. Never before in my history have I had, that much quick stimulation, through movies or video games or artwork or whatever. But it all feels kind of empty, like you get these fixes that are it just all kind of feels empty. You do a challenge or something, and it just doesn't feel that rewarding. And like I say, I think it's just boredom. I think real life feels boring. I get home and I don't necessarily have a goal, even though I hit the heavy bag. That'd be awesome, right? But it's just for what? I don't really have something that's fulfilling me right now, and I'm trying to figure out what to do about that, or what is the answer? What is the secret? And I just don't really have the answer. And I go to work. I've got a great job. I would have killed for this job before. I get paid to do photo and video. I get paid to edit video. It's great. I have no complaints. It's everything is really, really good. But I just can't seem to figure out how to not be a little bit apathetic in my life. I just don't have anything that I'm latching onto, and I don't know the answer. And hence that's why I'm making the video, because I could easily listen to music or a podcast or whatever on the way to work, space out, zone out, and go through the motions, but I'm trying to fight it as much as I can, like by making a video. Doesn't matter if it's interesting, doesn't matter if people watch it, none of that matters. It just matters that I'm doing something. And I think that's the key. You got to keep trying. You got to figure out something. You can't just stop trying. And I've tried. I've got off social media. I stopped posting on social media. I stopped connecting. And it didn't help. It didn't really get me farther along. I didn't get excited. In fact, it did the opposite. I just felt more apathetic, more bored. And it's crazy too, because when you're doing something you truly love, time can go so fast. Time disappears because you get lost in it. The time just disappears. But when you're bored, you watch the time, you're looking at the, you're wondering what time it is because you're trying to get to the next thing, and it's just, time drags. It's just slow, and I don't think time ever actually changes. The physical time doesn't change, but it sure feels that way. Mentally, it feels that way. And that's what I find, sometimes while I'm at work, the time just feels like it goes on and on and on and on, and every day feels a little bit the same. Even though, basically my job is whatever I want it to be. I can go out and take as many photos and videos as I like, and I can edit, and I can get creative as much as I want. But it's weird when you go into this apathetic mode, you just feel unmotivated to do really anything. And I'm essentially looking for anybody to give me advice, on what they think I should do, or what they did to find excitement in their life. I think that would be amazing, I think I need camaraderie in my life. I know that. I need social connections, like real social connections. It doesn't matter if it's online or in real life. I just need interaction. And I notice that I tend to retreat a little bit, when I'm feeling depressed or apathetic. I just kind of retreat. I don't really, because it feels pointless. It all kind of feels pointless. And I know it's all in the mind. I really do. It is all in the mind. Like, I could literally change all of this with just the way I'm thinking and seeing things. And that's up to me on how I want to deal with that. So, I could choose to stay where I'm at, or I could choose to change it. And that's why I hit record on the video, and that's why I'm making the video, because it's one step. And you got to keep doing something. Whether it's helping or not, you got to try, right? Because if you don't, you just kind of disappear and fade into oblivion. And I don't want that, obviously. So here we are. If anybody has any ideas or advice or words of wisdom, or what you did to change your life, I'm kind of looking for that next big adventure to keep me occupied. And I have the brain that's a little bit obsessive, sometimes a lot bit obsessive. I can really focus on something. I think it's being a little bit neurotypical. I can tend to really focus in on something when I have something to focus on, but it also can be my detriment as well, because I can focus on being bored, or nothing making sense, or nothing nothing really matters. I mean, I can really get hyper obsessed about things, and I think what I really need is something that I can really tune in on, that absorbs a lot of my mental space, when I'm at work, in between, something to think about that really gets my mind going. I think I'd really do well with that, and I need that. So, all right, well, I'm about to get my coffee. I appreciate anybody that's watching or listening. Any advice is amazing. And I hope you have a great day, and I hope that you're not bored, because life actually is pretty exciting. We just got to figure out what it is that we're trying to accomplish. All right, we'll see you next time. Peace.